Should I refinance my mortgage or should I wait for interest rate to go down? This is one of the most common questions I get asked all the time, and I get pretty much the same answer. It all depends on how the deal works out. We know theoretically that the Fed comes in when we have inflation. The Fed comes in, increases the interest rate, mortgage rate go up, and with mortgage rate go up, people are reluctant to buy because the cost to purchase a home is increased. Prices go down, theoretically rates drop, and people will be able to start back making home purchases. You have any kind of Fed interest rate increase causes that. The thing what I think a lot of people don't understand in regards to the other side of it is the rates have increased, but you got this what hyperinflation, and all now everybody's sitting on all this equity, 100,000, 200, $500,000 in equity, and they're wondering, hey, can I take advantage of it? It's sitting here, but the cost for me to acquire it is astronomical. What should I do? Again, that whole adage is the same to make sure the deal work. What I want to discuss today, guys, is just a couple things for you to think about because I don't believe there's a right or wrong answer, but I want to give you some tools to kind of think of or what to think about in regards to determining if you should refinance your mortgage right now, especially with the amount of equity that a lot of people have in their home. Coincidentally, with a high cost, with a high interest rate and the increased cost to borrow. Okay, the first thing you want to just think about, the pros of you got this high interest rate, but you're sitting on this high amount of equity. I advise anybody you can go to a loan officer if you want to, but the first thing I would do is you can just Google any kind of mortgage calculator, right? Do a little plug and play. Put in the purchase of the home. Just say if you had 150,000, you think about refinancing it because you're sitting on a couple $100,000 on equity. You may have went to a couple sites, say Zillow or Red Door, just got some kind of home value. I would say go a little bit less than what that is, but you had a ballpark of what it is. Right? Put in what you're looking to refinance it, the mortgage for. Put in the rates. You can put in your home, your property taxes, insurance, things like that, and do a little plug and play. Now we know theoretically will these numbers be exact? No, but you still could be in kind of a ballpark of it, right? From that point, you can just have an idea. Okay, this what if I pull some cash out, this what I would be sitting on. Okay, what I will say, if the deal makes sense, if you pull cash out, even at a high rate, depending on what kind of terms you get, if you be awarded a 20, 30, 40 year, and that'll be a discretionary of the lender. You have more flexibility if you can pull out to a 40 year, but more likely they're going to just say, hey, you have to take a 30 year term for this mortgage. But if they do, you still can look and see if the deal makes sense. So even if you have an increase of maybe a couple $100 a month, maybe even a little bit more than that, but you're able to pull out a couple $100,000 in equity, that'll be your decision. But kind of like a no-brainer for me. But again, I know everybody have different levels of risk, and some people are more risk averse than others. I don't want to take that chance, with doing it. I get it. But when we start talking about when you're sitting on a certain amount of equity in your home, you owe $150,000. Your home is worth $300,000. You don't have to refinance it to three. You ain't got to refinance it to 280. You can take just the 250. You got $100. Take out the closing costs. You might be sitting on $67,000, $80,000. If the math works from the new terms of the loan over that 30-year period, even with the increased rate, and you're still sitting at maybe a couple $100 more your mortgage payment, just something to think about with doing that. The other side, if you say, listen, I'm going to wait till rates decrease, what's going to be, I think it'll make more sense to do that. It's possible. But again, what makes sense to you, what makes sense to another person may be, totally different. Some of the things to look at, yeah, you would have more opportunities because the dollar amount that you have to be able to spend is, probably a lot more because uh, the prices of the house have went down. Also, you have a lower rate that you can purchase, so your options are more with doing that because the cost of borrowing is lower. You probably have a lower mortgage payment for you to take advantage of. Okay, the thing that probably would be missing is what the decrease in the home prices, right? Because again, we say the rate increase, which makes people more reluctant to do refinances or do purchases, so the prices of the homes decrease. How much they're gonna drop, I don't know. Okay, will there be a steep drop? Uh, I don't know. I don't know, to be totally honest with you. And I won't get in the conversation telling anybody, hey, listen, this is what's going to happen with doing it. But you do know there is going to be a lower price amount to make it advantageous for people to purchase homes. With that said, the lower the prices, the lower the equity you're going to have in your homes, right? So you're talking about you will miss that point in time where you could capture that equity that you may be sitting in your home. But again, the math got to work. So I would advise anybody, if you're thinking about it, just Google any kind of mortgage calendar to actually, do a little plug and play and figure that out. And if you got an opportunity to take advantage where you can put couple hundred $100,000 in your pocket, and you may be sitting at the same dollar amounts right now that you're sitting at. You take it, that's for you guys to think about. Now, again, how could that be that you could be sitting at the same dollar amount if you pull $100 or a couple $100,000, or even your mortgage payment maybe a little bit more? I tell you, typically what it be is just you're probably at the nearing the end of your mortgage. When I say near the end, let's say 20 years or less, definitely 15 years or less with doing it. So you're at the bottom of your mortgage. You're sitting there saying, listen, I'm almost done with it. Now the question says, do I want to just pay this off while I don't owe anybody, or can I, just extend it out and get a couple $100,000 with doing it? Again, it's not a right or wrong. It's all about what you want to do. Me personally, I was in a situation where I did a cash out refi. I was, I think, a year 16, 17 of my mortgage, strung it out for a 30, put a little money in my pocket with doing it. The math made sense to me. Some people may say, well, listen, I just would have paid my mortgage off. That's here. It's a opportunity cost question, for everybody to debate on a personal level with doing it. But what I want to do again is just give you guys tools to look at in regards to, if you're looking to refinance your mortgage, what should I be thinking about? Because again, the whole point of saying that rates are high with doing it, yeah, depending on where you're at in your loan. If you're at the bottom part of your loan, you can string it out another 20 years to do that and capture the equity that's in your home, right? But the other side of it is that, you add a couple more years, a few more than a few more years to your mortgage, but you got a little change in your pocket. All right. So again, I will say, do some plug and plays. Go to any kind of mortgage calculator, put some of the information in, see what it is. Talk to a lender. Again, because the missing component is what their origination and loan costs would be in regards to doing that. And you still can do a little plug and play with that. Just guesstimates on how much they'll charge, origination fees. You can call around and ask with that. But again, my personal opinion, it's a more of a you answer as opposed to what's the best way, the right way of doing it. Because again, if you do wait till rates drop with doing it, we're talking about a refinance. I'm not talking about a new purchase, but if you're talking about a refinance, if you do wait for the rates to drop, you're probably going to lose the opportunity of the amount of equity that you're sitting on right now in your home. Okay, so again, just look at get your calculator, do a little plug and play with that, and hopefully you can make an informed decision. That's the same kind of thing, thought process. Even we start thinking about even like a home equity line of credit. With doing it, you can get that, and you're sitting on that with your primary. You have this equity that you can take advantage of. But again, if the equity changes, the equity changes. That's the thing about it. As it adjusts, it adjusts. Okay, so just keep that in mind with that. If you have that, if they have that HELOC sitting on top with that, it could decrease. So just keep that in mind. Do I want to take advantage of it now? Will the math work? Will it make sense? Is the cost worth it? Take all those things. Then once you got all that data in front of you, then you can make an informed decision. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar. Make sure you subscribe to Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. Take advantage of all the over 400 videos we got on the channel, grand playlists, over 150 grand opportunities, weekly show every other Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care. Talk to you soon.